So it will be the English Premier League returning on August 2026 with some feisty, really interesting fixtures. Now remember last season it was Arsenal who finished with 85 points, above Manchester City who finished with 78 points, Arsenal's first league title in 22 years. So the pre-season is actually coming up with some really interesting games for August. Beginning with Manchester City on August 1, they will be clashing with Inter Milan. And I don't know what exactly or how the game would pan out exactly, but considering the squad depth of both teams, I actually think maybe Manchester City would have the upper hand considering the squad depth they have and availability of their key players who will be returning after the World Cup, Erling Haaland among them. Remember, he had an interesting campaign at the World Cup, including, against Brazil specifically, where he scored a screamer from outside the 18-yard box, to push the Vikings past Brazil. That's Carlo Ancelotti's team. And for Inter Milan, considering the exit of Dumfries, right, to Real Madrid, they could still have, the potential or the chances required to have the victory against Manchester City. Used to have the likes of Cananolu and Lautaro Martinez, who finished second with Argentina at the just concluded World Cup. Now, the next on the list on August 9th, it will be Manchester City against Atletico Madrid. Julian Alvarez will be featuring, maybe, but considering the transfer issues surrounding his stay at Atletico and his potential move to Barcelona, which has been, facing a whole lot of obstacles. Will he stay at Atletico Madrid? Will he train alongside his squad, or will he keep pushing for an exit to the La Liga rivals? Now, besides that, you will be also looking at Alex Baena, who had an interesting World Cup campaign with Spain. Now, on August 16 is going to be the Community Shield against Arsenal. Manchester City versus Arsenal. Now remember, with Pep Guardiola gone, will Enzo Maresca prove himself to be a worthy successor to Pep Guardiola, or will it be the beginning of the dominance from the Gunners? Remember, Mikel Arteta, he has succeeded in beating Pep Guardiola's side, but not too often. It took time, really long time for him to get there. Now, and next on the list for the pre-season fixtures will be Arsenal. Now, Arsenal, remember, they've already kickstarted on a victorious note thanks to the 3-0 win against MK Dons previously. Now they will be clashing with Borussia Dortmund on August 1. So with the likes of Martin Odegaard, who had an interesting World Cup campaign with Norway, and you also have the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes and Christian Zolis, the new signing from Club Brugge, who will be part of the team. Even Bukayo Saka will also be part of the team after the World Cup campaign with England. And after that, on August 7th, it will be Aston Villa against Bayern Munich. Now remember, Aston Villa are without Morgan Rogers, who left to Chelsea, and it will be Ollie Watkins still leading the team. And for Bayern Munich, you will have the likes of Harry Kane and Michael Olise, who featured for the French national team. But I really don't see Aston Villa, coming anywhere near a win against Bayern Munich, considering the squad depth and the attacking power of the Bayern squad led by Vincent Kompany. Now, next on the list will be Chelsea. Now, Chelsea will be going up against Tottenham on August 1. This time around, they will be without their key defender Marco Correa, who left for Real Madrid. And interestingly, he left to Spain and won the World Cup. Well, remember, we have the likes of Reece James and with with the addition of Morgan Rogers. Maybe Chelsea could roll back to life. And you also have, the interesting introduction of Danny Welbeck into the team. But I don't really see the reason why, Chelsea would be bringing in a stockpile of old players. But maybe they could turn things around with their experience. Now, next on the list would be AC Milan. Now, Chelsea will be clashing with AC Milan on August 8th. Now, you have the likes of Rafael Leo, and he will be returning to club football after a disappointing World Cup campaign with Portugal. Now, Manchester United under Michael Carrick will be, off to an interesting clash against Atletico Madrid on August 1. Yes. Now you have the likes of Patrick Mbuemo and Cunha, who will be returning to the squad, for the game. They could be rested, maybe to avoid injuries. Probably. It depends on what Michael Carrick's plans are, but definitely it will be a great way to warm up ahead of the new Premier League season. And on August 8th, it will be Manchester United against Paris Saint-Germain, where you have the likes of Ousmane Dembele, Bakola, Dewey, even the likes of Hakimi will be returning. They could be featuring, or they could be rested on, ahead of the new season. But you would be witnessing nothing short of the clash of titans, right? A meeting of two great tacticians, Luis Enrique, who led Paris Saint-Germain to their second successive UEFA Champions League title, and Michael Carrick, who put off a great feat, helping Manchester United qualify for the UEFA Champions League. So that will really be a great way across board for all the teams involved to begin the new season. So let's watch out and see what it's gonna be like.